Okay,
Are you ready?
you're all set.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the July 15th, 2024 meeting of the Whatcom County Fire Protection District 4 Board of Commissioners. I'll call this meeting to order, and we'll start with roll call. My name is Steve Cooley, Commissioner.
Tim Johnson, Commissioner.
Mark Land, Commissioner. Jason Vanderveen, Fire Chief.
Excellent. Good to see you all. Okay, next item on the agenda is the public comment period. Chief, do we have anybody waiting?
No, sir.
All right, well then I will open and then close the public comment period. And that moves us to approval of the consent agenda. All matters within the consent agenda have been distributed to each member of the Board of Commissioners for review, are considered routine, and will be enacted by one motion of the board with no separate discussion. If a separate discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda by request. And this week, our consent agenda includes our meeting minutes from our meeting on June 17th, the normal staff reports that we see from the chief and his people, all of our financial reports, which include a voucher, payroll, and benefits. And as the chief has put up on the screen for you here, we had a typo on the one that we were sent out a few days ago, and it's highlighted there. It was just a simple addition of a number that wasn't correct. And so that brings our direct deposit payrolls at $644 plus the monthly expenditure voucher for $701,719 to the total number of expenditures that you see up in the right there, which is $702,363. The bulk of the monthly expenditure voucher that you saw was our payment for our contract through North Whatcom. The others were obviously much smaller costs. So that was the consent agenda. And I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'd move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Great. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the consent agenda? None? Okay, then all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries 3-0. The consent agenda is approved. All right, moving on to unfinished business. We'll go ahead and touch on these in order. I saw what appeared to be a newspaper article on the Department of Water Ecology Adjudication process that we were talking about in a previous meeting. In reading that, any of y'all have any comments or discussion at this point? It appears to me that we're still in a sort of wait mode until we're contacted. Is that how you see it, Mr. Lane?
Yeah, I don't have any more insight on that. It's what's in the news. It's what's been going on in court. Probably going to take longer than anticipated resolve.
Yeah, I think they were talking at least a few years. So yeah, something just to keep on our radar. Any other comments about that issue? Okay, great. Moving on to the Britton Road Northern Heights annexation. Anybody heard anything about that? I have not heard that anything has progressed.
Me neither.
Okay.
I've not heard anything. And in looking through documents at the city of Bellingham, planning seems to be focusing on something called the Bellingham Plan, which is more about infill and creative affordable housing. I'm seeing nothing about annexations, either annexation, the Northern Heights or the other one that's been kind of on their front radar or on their radar is like the North Cordana. And I'm not seeing anything. And either I would look at planning commission, I looked at council as a whole, I looked at committee as a whole. There's no, I don't know what they're doing. So,
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds like it's not a hot topic right now, at least on as far as the city goes. All right. Any other comments or questions about that issue? All right, we'll keep it on unfinished business to keep track of that as we move along. Next up is the Britton Loop Station 12 exterior project. The chief and I have a meeting scheduled to discuss that next week. We have not, there has been no progress on that as far as I know, but we hope to put a plan together to get that moving. As a side note, Chief, I had mentioned to you that maybe if we could see
Yep.
where the money for that project and the fire truck project, the engine, sorry. We could see where that's being.
okay, is everybody able to see the Whatcom County Treasurer's report here on my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So Commissioner Cooley asked me two questions. One is, had we replaced the money in reserve that was taken out at the end of last year in order to make the quarterly payment? And the answer is no, we have not. That's a simple transfer that can be done. And we can do it. We can do it next month. I'll put it on the agenda so you'll see it next month. And then here where my cursor is, this is the current cash that the district has in its account. We're gonna, after this meeting, after these checks clear, we're gonna flip it, move it into investments, so we accrue some more investment interest. And that is the money that would go for either an apparatus, apparatus or a station. The apparatus, nobody's doing prepayment anymore because of delays in manufacturing. So this money is going to continue to accrue until apparatus is paid for. And that's currently taking about between 24 and 30 months. So you're going to continue to see this account grow over time.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, sir.
So hate to parse words here, but you said apparatus or the improvements to the station. Are you suggesting we don't have enough to pay for both?
No, nope. Apparatus. Sorry, apparatus and the station improvements. Yes.
Gotcha.
There's enough. So obviously you just approved a check or vouchers for roughly $702,000. That's going to come out of the cash you see there. So there'll be, we'll say $900,000 left in that account. I am hoping, the projections were as high as $800,000 to repair the station. I think we need to get fresh bids on that. Obviously we need to get fresh bids on that. Those bids have all lapsed. Talk to them about some cost savings, talk to the contractors about some cost savings, able to draw things down a little bit and still do a good job. So then we're talking, say between $600,000 and $800,000 for the repair of the exterior. In the meantime, there's another tax revenue will be coming in again in October. Once that station project is out of the way, all of that money will be being accrued for replacement fire apparatus. So yes, there's money to do both jobs, just as we anticipated in the levy rollout. Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, no, thanks. Good explanation.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so anything else we need to discuss with regards to either of those two projects? The engine project or the exterior?
And I had told Commissioner Cooley, as well as, I don't know if you could read between the lines of my chief's report, the planning of Lieutenant Leslie Smith's memorial, as well as District 21 levy lid lift, are kind of have been my two front projects. Now with less than 30 days to go on the District 21 levy lid lift, just like I did for District 4, I'm kind of moving into high gear there. And with more territory to cover means more meetings and phone calls and interviews and stuff like that. So that's, I hope you don't feel, District 4 doesn't feel slighted in any way, but I'm kind of having to triage my projects. So that's why you're not seeing a lot of progress in this work packet here.
If we need something, we know where to find you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's why I'm finally glad we got that meeting scheduled for next week so that I can hopefully help take some of the load of the station exterior project off of you and at least do some of the legwork. So no worries. All right. That's all that I have on unfinished business. Correspondence I saw, let's see, we already talked about the one letter. There was one other thing in there though. What was it? Oh, you're.
Oh, with the agreement.
Yeah. It's
There
right.
it is.
So this is an annual agreement we do with all districts and cities do it with the auditor, just that we can share information back and forth.
Yeah.
District 21 did the exact same agreement with the auditor.
Cool. That's what I figured. Just thought we'd touch.
Yep.
Okay. That's all I have on the agenda. Our next board meeting is August 12th, which I'm fairly confident I will be here for.
Can I just ask, sorry, Steve, can I just ask a quick question on that data sharing agreement?
Of course you can.
So is that gonna be in our packet or our paperwork to probably sign today, or am I jumping ahead?
No, it's actually something that I just signed as the agency head.
Okay,
As
perfect.
I'm the auditing officer for the district.
Okay.
So
and something like this, it's routine enough to where we don't have to have, our legal counsel review it or anything like that.
As I had done the exact same one for District 21, I didn't feel like that was a necessary expense. And it's really boilerplate language from the state auditor's office.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Good. Okay, August 12th meeting looks good for me. Everybody else, anybody know of a conflict at this point?
No conflicts for me.
Great.
August 12th looks good.
All right, sounds good. All right, thank you, everybody. And with that, we'll adjourn the meeting and remind everyone to go sign the documents when you have a chance.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Just, if you could shoot me a text once you've
Yes.
signed, that would be
Will
helpful.
do.